Welcome, Olga. We have
Hi.
Olga Vargas, Senior Marketing, PR, and Events Manager at Hermann Services, Inc. Our fourth winner really exemplifies what it means to make community service as a core part of who you are as a company, which I absolutely love. So congratulations.
Thank you. I'm really excited to be here.
Congratulations, Olga, and welcome. Hermann Services has been a Gold Star corporate sponsor of Toys for Tots. Is this right? Since 2004. Amazing. Yeah. And that is 2 decades of consistent commitment to the same program. Now, in an industry where, corporate initiatives, let's face it, they come and go at times. What has kept this partnership a priority for Hermann year after year?
Well, honestly, I think it just comes down to who Hermann Services is as a company. We're an almost 100-year-old family business. And when a family business really commits to something, it tends to stick. And Toys for Tots isn't just a campaign that we run in December, and forget about it in January. We're thinking about it year round and looking forward to when we invite the community in for pictures with Santa. And really that's the big day that we get all of the gifts donated. Last year we had someone who was just driving around. They were like, we have like $6,000 worth of toys. And we were looking for someplace to donate. And we were like, oh, I saw in the community that Hermann Services does a big toy drive. And so we came over and we wanted to donate all of our toys. And so it's really woven into how our team thinks about showing up in the communities and where we operate. And there's something just so powerful about consistency. And so our employees, our customers, they all expect it now and they collaborate. And it's just a part of the Hermann identity.
I love that so much. And I love how you're like, it's not just something we do in December. Like, this is something we're thinking about all the time, year round. It's not just, we show up in the last month of the year and call it what it is.
Exactly.
And that the Stuff a Truck model is such a creative way to put your fleet to work for the community. So when did you realize that your trucks could actually be a community asset, not just a business asset?
I think that's a great question. And I think that realization is really baked into the DNA of a transportation company that's been around this long. And our fleet has always been just more than equipment. And it represents our presence within our own communities, our people on the road. And the Stuff a Truck model came from just asking a simple question: what can we uniquely do that others can't? And we have trucks, we have drivers, and we have relationships. And so why not put all of that to work for something bigger? And so we do a lot of work, even pro bono, with other organizations that need, that need goods, that need product in underserved communities. And so we're like, yeah, we have trucks available. We can move that over. When, we have our locations in Houston as well. So, the Gulf Coast sometimes gets hit by hurricanes. Hurricane Harvey was a big one for us. We made sure that we could have equipment go down there with hurricane relief items as well. So why not put all of our assets to work, especially when they're our own assets, right?
Yeah.
Well, Hermann Services supports Truckers Against Trafficking and Project Protect Our Children, causes that are directly connected to the realities of operating on the road. How do you talk about those issues with your drivers, and what role do they play in your awareness and prevention work?
Yeah, absolutely. We actually had a training back in January for the Project Protect Our Children and Truckers Against Trafficking. And our drivers are our eyes on the road, literally. And so they're at truck stops, rest areas, loading docks across the country in places and situations that most people never get to see. So when we talk about Truckers Against Trafficking and Project Protect Our Children, it's not abstract for them and it's real. We make sure our drivers know what to look for and who to call, and they're not just operators, they're first responders in a very real sense. And we treat that responsibility very seriously.
Love that. And then you have a partnership with what Rutgers Business School's Road to Supply Chain Leadership Program. And that's a different kind of community investment. It's more of that workforce development for the next generation. So how does developing future supply chain professionals then fit into the Hermann Cares philosophy alongside these other like Toys for Tots and Reach Across America and the other pieces that you guys do?
Absolutely. Just last night, actually, we had a big event here on our lawn, and it was the cohort 4 launch with the Rutgers supply chain leadership program. And so we had all of the students come in, tour the warehouse, look at the trucks, and get a real sense of what a transportation company is and how it works in the supply chain world as well. And Hermann Cares has always been about investing in things that outlast a single holiday or a single initiative. And the Rutgers Road to Supply Chain Leadership Program is that in its purest form, I believe. We're investing in the next generation of professionals, and Jeff has that deep personal connection with Rutgers as well. He got his MBA there, and it's in New Brunswick, which is right the town right over to us, and it's our local state university as well. So we take developing that talent very seriously, and we've had now 4 years in a row of interns working at Hermann and working at all these partner companies as well, and these students getting a firsthand experience on both the industry, supply chain, and just career development. And even in our marketing department, we had one of our intern who has now become a full-time employee. And so we're really investing into tomorrow's leaders. And I think that's just deeply embedded into the Hermann philosophy.
Well, let's focus on the local and then expand, because Hermann, of course, operates regionally, throughout the United States. So how do you keep that community engagement feeling genuinely local when your footprint is vast?
I think we try to let each location lead. So New Jersey, Delaware, Houston, they're not the same communities, and we don't try to treat them as such. And our people on the ground in each location know their neighbors the best, their needs, their local organizations. We have a lot of employees that have philanthropic souls. So if there is an organization that, someone who is working in Delaware and they're very active in their community and they're like, hey, this is an organization I care deeply about, we're boots on the ground for them. So we will help it in any way possible. If it's a rally, if it's one of those 5Ks for a certain cause, we'll put the support towards that. And I think Hermann Cares is a framework, just not just a script. So what it looks like in Jersey might not look the same in the Gulf Coast, and that's intentional for us.
And you guys are then also active members of the African American Chamber of Commerce and the South Brunswick Economic Development Committee. So you kind of touched on this a little bit, but how does that civic engagement at those levels too connect back to Hermann Cares and the company's broader identity?
Well, if you just look at our employees as well, everyone comes from very different facets of life. It's very diverse. And we're in New Jersey specifically, which is kind of a melting pot of communities. And so for us, civic engagement isn't separate from community engagement. It's the infrastructure that makes community investment impossible. Being a part of the African American Chamber of Commerce and the South Brunswick Economic Development Committee means that we have a seat at the table where decisions get made and where business is growing in our region. So Hermann Cares is about showing up, and it's not just writing a check, it's being present in these rooms where it all actually happens.
Wow, really amazing. And Olga, I think that really encapsulates a lot of the contributions of all the companies that we're recognizing today. So again, congratulations to Hermann Services, and congratulations to you and your team.
Thank you. Thank you.